Who are you? Well, the first thing I can tell you is that you are so much. You are so much more that you even can't imagine, I promise you. But I will start to make it quite easy for you to just understand some picture of what you really are. So let's start with a small thing. And it's not a small thing, but anyway, it's a small thing. And that is your heart and your brain. Those two things is a marvelous things, because in your brain you have a heart, and in your heart you have a brain. So let's discuss. Hi, my name is Karin Engström and I work as a course leader. My goal is to help people to reach levels of happiness and well-being. That means they will have to find ways, good ways, that can make them reach their own goals. And I think the first thing of that is to really understand who you are. What tools do you actually have inside yourself? And it's also about knowing how those tools are interacting with each other. So let's go started with your heart and your brain. I will not talk about your heart at the anatomic way. Instead I will talk about your heart, and also mine of course, in an esoteric way. Science have found that inside your heart you have a little bit of a brain. And that brain, what does it actually include? Well, for me and together with so many people, the heart's brain is the home of your soul. So many times we hear that people say, listen to your heart. And when someone says that, some people say is around, well, what do you actually mean by that? What are you meaning by saying that you have to listen to your heart? And the answer on that usually are something like, well, you know, just listen to your heart. You will feel it. You can just imagine what it is. You will feel it right away. And then we started to discuss, what are your feelings? So when you start to talk about feelings, you talk about emotions. And here you have it all on the map. You can see it. It's a lot of different emotions that you actually can have or be in. Many of us says that you are in a mood of joy, you are in a mood of love, you're in a mood of anger or whatever. And yes, you are your emotions. No questions about that. At the same time, I'm kind of a curious person, so I just wonder, is there any emotions that are the basic emotions? And when I have talked to a lot of people that are masters in esoterics, teachers, they all say the same thing. Basically, it comes down to 3 different emotions. And those are love, fear, and anger. And when you start painting those, so you just don't have the black and the white side, you will have all those different emotions around them. So that's the thing with the heart. It's so much more about it, but for the moment, that's it. So I will go over for the brain and cover that area. And here you have the brain. And there is so much going on in the brain. You have so much thoughts, you have so much information, and yet that's only a small part of what really is going on inside you. As I told you earlier, I will not discuss the brain in an anatomic way, but I will talk about the mind. The mind is so much We used to think about it. Many people say it's the unconsciousness, it's the consciousness, it's the subconsciousness. Yeah, it's almost everything about consciousness. What about they don't talk about is that you have dream states. When you sleep, you have 3 different states of dreams. At the moment I will call them just dream state 1, 2 and 3. So when you are in sleep, you also have a consciousness. So your consciousness is there even when you sleep or if you are awake. And there are a lot of information out there in the internet that says you should change your subconsciousness because that's the state where things are getting to be trouble for you. And yes, I agree to a small part of that, because there are so much going on and there's so much experience, and instead of that calling your subconsciousness, unconsciousness, dream state 1, 2, 3, 4, I would say that you have a basic even in those mind, in your mind, and those basics are wisdom and knowledge, and it's quite a bit different of those two, but you have wisdom as a basic and you have knowledge. So when you have trouble with something, the mind will say something and the heart will say another thing. But hey, what about life itself? What is life itself telling you? Well, as I told you, the heart is in your brain and your brain is in your heart, literally. So maybe the question you should ask yourself is, does it really matter? Does it matter if I go for my mind, or does it matter if I go for my heart? And who does it matter for? Well, in the esoteric way, all this matter is for your soul, because it's your soul that are collecting experience. And in your soul you have your great spirit, and your spirit is the mind, but not the mind in just this life. It's so much bigger. But remember, it also includes your mind here and now. And of course it's easy to forget the body itself, the body that holds your mind, your soul, your spirit, the body that's actually are the home of the spirit and the soul. You can also say it's a temple, it's a house for your soul and your spirit and your mind. And of course some moments you have sad moments, and then another moment you will have the joy, you will feel the greatness, you will feel the love and everything about it. You are also energy, because everything of what I'm talking about is basically energy. And when energy starts to organize itself, it started to become together, it's going to be some mass. And of that masses, they will start to produce our physical body. So, who are you? Well, the easiest way to say it, that is, I am. I am. I exist. I am. And I'm a very, very, very lot of materia. I'm information, I'm mind, I'm spirit, I'm movement, and so on. You are a fantastic thing. I wish you all the best and all the good in the world. Have a nice day.